once that you decided on a killing, first you make a stone of your heart. And if you find that your hands are still willing, then you can turn a murder into art. But there really isn't any need for bloodshed. You just do it with a little more finesse. If you can slip a tablet into someone's coffee, then it'll avoid an awful lot of mess. 'Cause it's murder by numbers, 1, 2, 3. It's as easy to learn as your ABC. Murder by numbers, 1, 2, 3. It's as easy to learn as your ABC. Now, if you have a taste for this experience,
Featuring Sting and Andy Summers of The Police, it's the Christian McBride Big Band with the cover of The Police's Murder by Numbers. It's from the 9-time Grammy winner's new album, Without Further Ado, Volume 1. I'm Kallao, it's World Cafe, and it is a pleasure to welcome back Christian McBride to the show. Christian, it is so nice to meet. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, man, it's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, man. Well, I appreciate you coming in. You're out on tour, but you've got an off day. And I would like to point out you are in your hometown of Philadelphia.
That's right.
I have to ask, when you have one of those valuable off days in your hometown, where are you going? What's the first thing you want to do in this city?
Go see Mom.
Yeah. I didn't know there was a wrong answer, but that's the right answer.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, my mom still lives here. And usually when I'm in town, if I'm not visiting her, I'm here for a gig, and then I tend to go home.
Yeah, that makes sense. Does Mom come out to the show at City Winery or whatnot?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
She's never missed a show.
She's been to more shows than pretty much anyone but you, I imagine.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, I'm so glad you're here. We want to definitely talk about Without Further Ado, Volume 1, Christian McBride Big Band. And the band is getting bigger. I love the idea of having vocalists and guest musicians join what's already a 17-piece ensemble. But I'm kind of curious, when you were mapping this out in your head, what did you want to do with this record? What direction you wanted to go in?
The thinking behind this new album is pretty pragmatic. Since 2012, I've been artistic advisor for jazz programming at New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark. And my big band serves as the house band for our annual gala. And so since 2012, we've invited all of these incredible vocalists to come and sing with the big band at the NJPAC Gala. And but that music has only gotten played once.
Yeah.
So year after year after year, I have to arrange this music for our annual gala, and it only gets played that one time. So I just saw this pile of music getting larger and larger, and I went, why let it go to waste? Let me just record these.
Wow. So, and with Volume 1, that sort of leads to the idea that this is a project you've got a lot of songs that you hope to have home for, yeah?
That's absolutely correct.
All right. Well, I love the idea of a band leader when you work with a large group of musicians, because you get to make something that's greater than the sum of the parts that make up to it. But I imagine it presents some interesting challenges as well when you're working with a group that large. I'm curious, what kind of problems do you enjoy tackling when you are writing for that many performers, being a band leader like that?
I seem to have some reverse psychology going on here, because I find, for me personally, it's easier to write for my big band than it is for a small group. I tend to fall into lots of mental blocks when I'm writing for a small group. And but when I see my big band and I see the Barry saxophone, the alto, the tenor, the possibilities for doubling with flutes and clarinets, and the trombone section and the trumpet section with the flugelhorns and the multiple mutes, my brain is like, yes, I can't wait. But just give me one saxophone, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
It almost feels like a real estate situation because you've got to account for 16 or 17 people. You've got to give them space in the house.
Yeah.
And someone goes, here's a house for 3 people. You've got all the time in the world.
Oh, boy. Exactly.
This is World Cafe. If you're just joining us, Christian McBride is my guest. Without further ado, the Christian McBride Big Band, Volume 1 is out now. We are talking about that record. I would imagine for the big band, it is a big deal to get everyone in the room to track these songs.
That has to happen live. I mean, it doesn't have to happen.
No, it should happen live.
It should happen live.
It would be very weird if you heard a recording of a full band and they're like, yeah, everyone recorded separately.
I do know a particular artist who did an entire big band record with like 2 musicians. I went, man, I get it, but that's just awkward.
That is awkward. What were the vibes like in the room, 4th album back with these cats playing with them?
Well, we've been together now for over a decade, so it's just like a barbecue when we get together.
Is it hard to get the work done sometimes?
No. We all know that we're there to get the job done, and I like to create an atmosphere where you can work hard and still have fun.
What's that atmosphere look like?
So one of my greatest mentors, particularly when it came to producing, was the late, great George Duke. George Duke produced my 3rd CD on Verve. It was called A Family Affair. And I remember when we were in the studio the first couple of days, the then vice president of A&R was in the studio with us, and he made this quip, this sort of remark, like, hey, doesn't look like you guys are getting any work done, because we're laughing, having a good time, and then at the end of the day, we had 6 songs done, and I said, "How's this for not getting any work done, pal?" That was in 7 hours. He was like, "Oh my God, you did this right under my nose," and I think that was telling. Because, yes, we were laughing and joking around, having a great time, but we got 6 songs done in one day, I've heard every kind of producer or work with producers who like to create a loose, joyous atmosphere. Yeah. And I've worked with some producers who like to create sort of a contentious atmosphere because there is a thought that, believe it or not, musicians play a certain kind of way when they're angry.
Yeah.
Now, that's dangerous. That's true, but it's dangerous.
It seems like you're fishing for like conflict can create great art,
yes.
but with lots of risks that come with that.
and for me, it's not worth the risk.
Yeah,
I've been with a couple of those producers. I just got to get into my Zen mode.
Fair enough. I noticed in the liner notes, the record's dedicated to Quincy, and Quincy.
Speaking of creating great atmosphere.
Well, I was going to say, like, how was he as a, it's almost man meets mythos, when it comes to talking about Quincy on hallowed ground and stuff like that. But I imagine his sessions were pretty fun and laid back.
I mean, I never got a chance to be in the studio with him, but I worked with him live a couple of times. And, for someone who was, like you said, he was almost mythical, right? He was a working musician. He was one of the cats at heart. He was one of the guys in the band. And when he became the guy in front of the band, he never let that mentality get away. So he knows how to talk to the band as musicians, as one of them. Ray Brown told me this great story that one time, Ray Brown used to joke that one word that Quincy had a lot of trouble learning was no.
Sure.
And so at one point during the late 60s and early 70s, Quincy was just saying yes to everything. He was producing records. He was making movies, doing the scores for movies. And, at one point, I think he did like 20 films in 1 year, something really absurd like that. And Ray said, he asked Quincy, said, "Hey, man, you're not going to have time to do all of that." He said, "No, I got it. Don't worry, I got it." So they had one recording, one soundtrack. Ray couldn't remember what movie it was. But, you got an orchestra there, the producers from the film are there. It's got to be, like, tight.
Yeah.
Quincy comes in with no music. no score under his arm. And Ray Brown said he was in the bass section like, oh boy, because he was actually managing Quincy at that point. So he was kind of like, oh no, what's he gonna do? So he says Quincy with a full orchestra, you talk about risk.
Yeah.
Russian roulette. Ray says Quincy gets on the stand. He's like, okay, roll the first clip. Says, okay, rhythm section, vamp on B flat, right about here. Okay, violins, give me play 2 half notes for me. C and D, just go back and forth like that. And he like improv'd an entire film score. Now, you've got to be a trained musician to be able to do that.
Yeah, you can't fake that.
You can't fake that. A lot of people think they can. Oh, just play what you feel. Now, well, that's like, you know, you can't go to a foreign country and say, oh, just speak their language. Just feel it. There's a lot of people who have been successful who don't actually study music.
Yeah.
They study emotion. They study reaction, which is not bad, but that's 2/3 of the job.
Yeah, it's yeah.
You know?
Totally. You're just doing a play, not a musical. This is World Cafe. Christian McBride is my guest. The new album is Christian McBride Big Band. Without Further Ado, Volume 1. Old folks, I am super curious about where you pulled this track from, because I don't think this was one that your big band was doing.
This one was written specifically for the album. Samara Joy is one of the great stories in jazz of recent times. And I feel particularly close to her because I was one of the judges when she won the 2019 Sarah Vaughan International Vocal Competition.
Which is incredibly prestigious.
And at the time, she was 18.
Yeah.
And she sounded just as mature then as she does now. So we know what happened. You know, she's had this wonderful career. And so when I knew I wanted to do a new big band album with all of these vocalists, she was one of the people I went to first.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask her. I said, hey, Samara, I need you to be on my new album.
And she just agreed.
And she was like, cool, yeah. And so I said, if there's one song you would want to sing with the big band, what would it be? And she said, Old Folks in B flat. I was like, boom, I got you.
Well, let's listen to Christian McBride and Samara Joy. Here's Old Folks on World Cafe.
Everyone knows him as Old Folks. Like the seasons, he'll come and he'll go. Just as free as a bird and as good as his word. That's why everybody loves him so. Always leaving his spoon in his coffee, tucks his napkin up under his chin, and that yellow cob pipe, it's so mellow, it's ripe. You needn't be ashamed of him. Every evening after supper,
recorded live in studio. It's Christian McBride and Nicole Glover with a performance of Shake and Blake. They are part of the new quintet, Christian McBride and Ursa Major, and they just released their first single and are heading into the studio to work on their debut album. But before they get to the studio, we had to snag them away to have a World Cafe conversation. Christian, Nicole, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so Nicole, I have to start with you. When did you learn that song that we just heard, Shake and Blake?
Honestly, on the train ride down here.
See?
All right, and you are dealing with a flight coming from Japan.
Yeah.
You are tired and jet lagged, and you learned a whole new composition.
Sure.
That was really awesome. That was really special. Do you do this to them every time?
No, see, first of all, when you guys asked for 4 songs,
We did.
I couldn't think of the 4th one.
Ah.
And so I gave Shake and Blake just as a placeholder. I had all intention on changing the song when I arrived here this afternoon. But then I heard you in the back practicing it, and I went, oh no, she learned it. I didn't know you were going to do that. But see, this is why you are who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm her biggest fan. You know, Nicole came onto the jazz scene the old school way, and I just started hearing, musicians just started calling each other on the phone, like, "Yo, you heard this new saxophone player from Portland? She's like taking everybody's gig. What's up?" You know?
My God!
And so the excitement was just brewing up, and I YouTube stalked her, and I say, okay, the hype is real. And I said, I gotta jump on this.
Christian McBride band. You got the big band. You got New John. You got Inside Straight, and you got a whole other thing. But
they're not all active.
They're not all active. For as busy as you are, the idea to start a new project must mean that you really are excited about a project like this. So please tell me a little bit about Ursa Major.
I feel like it's that time where I form a new group of the next generation. Most of my friends, most of my peers either have their own bands, or they're teaching, or they have something where they're not interested, nor should they be, in being in a touring band.
Okay.
And we talk about how important mentorship was for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had the great honor of being in Freddie Hubbard's band. Yeah. I had the great honor of playing with McCoy Tyner and Bobby Hutcherson and Bobby Watson and Benny Golson and all these people. So like, it's time for me to take those experiences and give them to the next generation coming up.
What was your reaction when Christian said join the band?
I mean, I was incredulous. It was not something I ever would have expected would happen, but I was extremely grateful and really excited, and to have the opportunity to, share the stage with peers of mine that I think are so brilliant, and to be able to have that opportunity, share that opportunity with them, to learn from and to play with Christian and to be around him, has just been a total blessing. It's such a joy.
That's really cool. You feel like you're learning a lot on the job?
Constantly.
What's one of the things that you're finding out being in this new quintet?
Christian is overhyped.
Wow. That's crazy.
She did not prompt that answer. I just want to point that out.
There's so many things that come to mind, but the first one that comes to mind really is the consistency that Christian embodies in his character, in the way that he brings energy to the music, to the bandstand, to social situations. He inspires a kind of confidence. There's a way in which you can feel very intimidated by him because he is who he is, but he has a warmth to him that makes you feel inspired to be confident and to be yourself around him. So.
Wow, that's really beautifully said. And it sounds like the type of collaborator any musician would be thrilled and happy to work with. I always love talking about collaboration with people who've worked with a lot of musicians, and you both have. Christian, what do you think makes for a good collaborator?
Well, sometimes that word, somehow collaboration has gotten used a lot. When I was in Freddie Hubbard's band, I was not a collaborator. I was his bass player. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
there to play his music the way he wanted me to play it. Now, I think there are some instances where you have some room for someone to say, hey, what would you play here? You know what I mean? But I think mostly as a bassist, my first job, even in my own band, I'm still the bass player. I'm still going to be playing more supportive parts than lead parts, you know? So even though it's my group, I want to make sure she's got the best rhythm possible behind her, you know?
I understand what you're saying when it comes to like session musicians. You're there
Right.
to play the bass, right?
Right.
Whereas if someone's inviting a guitarist to play
Right.
with them, maybe there's a more collaborative aspect.
I got a great collaboration story for you. It was very, I don't think I ever told you a story. So, one of the most surprising calls I ever got in my career was from Paul Simon when he was doing the soundtrack for the Wild Thornberries.
Okay.
And so he said, hey, Christian, I want you to come in and play on a track. Great, I'd be honored. You know, so he sent me the track, but there was no bass part on it. And so I said, is there like a bass demo? And he's like, no. Okay, so what do you want me to play? I don't know.
Whatever you want.
Make it up. But I don't know what kind of vibe you're looking for. He's like, I don't know either. Just give me some options. And so we went to the studio that day, and, you know, like, I can't remember the track now, but, you know, it was kind of like a C triad-y kind of thing, you know. And I said, so do you want like C or A minor or D over C or what kind of vibe? He's like, I don't know.
For someone, that is the perfect collaborator. For someone, oh,
Right.
no rules, no restrictions. I can do
Yeah.
whatever I want.
But, you know, it was kind of like, so I put down one bass track and, you know, it's Paul Simon, for gosh sakes.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
So I said, how was that one? He's like, yeah, that was good. Like, okay, you want another one? Yeah. Like, oh man, okay. So yeah, I don't remember. I did like 10 different bass tracks that day.
Why do I feel like I know where this is going?
Well, I never really knew if he liked them or not. You know,
did he use them?
I don't know.
You never bothered to look?
I mean, I don't know. All I know is I got to be in the studio with Paul Simon for the entire day, putting bass tracks down on this one song.
Absolute genius. Once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best way to collaborate.
You know, I mean, but like you said, some might enjoy that. You know, it's like, hey, I don't really know what I'm looking for. Give me something.
Yeah.
And then that'll help me figure out where I want to go.
Yeah.
You know, that's one story of a literal sort of, you know, hey, I don't really know what I'm looking for. Give me something and we'll
You kind of got to
figure it out.
It's a little bit of a dance with every person you work with. To
Absolutely.
Find that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're listening to World Cafe. We are here with Christian McBride and Nicole Glover, who perform in Ursa Major. They're currently working on their debut album. Nicole, walk me through a song that we're going to hear in duet form, Petrichor. This is one that was with your band Artemis, correct? That you recorded earlier?
Not my band, but a band that I'm a part of. It's a band. The musical director is Renee Rossness, so I kind of think of it as her band. But
Fair enough. Yeah.
I have been in the band for the last 5 years and done a couple recordings. And Petrichor is one that I brought originally for that group, but you know, I like to bring it into different situations because, you know, just like a lot of my favorite compositions of the past, I like to hear them in different settings. I like to hear them in different recordings played by different musicians. I think that's something that I really appreciate about kind of the, documentation of our musical history. So I brought it in and we've been playing it. And Petrichor means the smell of the earth after it rains, after it hasn't rained for a really long time. So if you smell that, you know exactly what that smell is.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. And so that's the word that means that. And that's what the song is called.
Let's take a listen to it. It's Nicole Glover and Christian McBride, Ursa Major, here in studio with Petrichor. Recorded live on World Cafe. It's Nicole Glover and Christian McBride of the band Ursa Major and a performance of Familiar Steps. There will be an album. It's not yet, but soon. They're working on it currently in the studio. And then, of course, Christian is out doing a ton of things into next year and beyond. Nicole, Christian, thank you both so much for being here. Congratulations on the debut single and looking forward to hearing the album.
Thank you.
Please come back and see us again soon.
Anytime. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
I'm Kallao. We're back in a minute with more World Cafe.